mortality rate, which, you know, our position in it is very bad. The WHO position was that we will overtake India by the year 2025, but we achieved that record in year 2020. That was one of the records we beat ahead of time. So India is 1.4 billion people. We are 200, but we achieved it. But at the base of that, the major cause of it is lack of primary health care. It's not just environment. It's lack of primary health care. There's no functional. And people will say, oh, well, it's about resources. Honestly, as little as the resources we invest in primary health care is, the worst situation is that little one is mismanaged. So you hardly don't have resources, you're not training manpower. The entire north where it is more, you can't post nurses, midwives for the north. It comes to what you're saying, the environment and working environment is not conducive for them. They don't want to stay, so they will go away. Because of lack of education, the people also don't want to go to proper health facilities. So it's a combination of a lot of things that you need to do to tackle that. Education of the women in the north. You must invest in young girls in girl child education to be able for the new mothers to understand need to go to the hospital. You must also provide and support an environment where that will make it attractive for health workers to stay and build the primary. It's a combination, but it is a critical thing. Because you can't talk about development is centered on three things: health, education, and per capita, pulling people out of poverty. So you must deal with that. It's something that we need to do. Somebody mentioned energy crisis. Our energy crisis, solving it is not rocket science. 3 nations of the world have, in 5 years, doubled their power generation, distribution, transmission and distribution. Those 3 countries in the world are Egypt, Vietnam, and India. So they are developing countries. Egypt has about now to start exporting power to Europe. They were under 20,000. After their crisis, they found out what their problem is. That they could have power, and they decided to deal with it. South Africa, in the past 2 months, declared emergency in power. South Africa is 60 million people, generating, distributing about 50,000 megawatts, but they declared emergency. For people who are generating 5,000, transmitting and distributing that, haven't declared anything. If somebody who has 50,000 declared emergency, what do you think he will declare? War. And that's what I'm going to declare. First is that today, we have installed capacity of 12,500. About that. Transmission, we have, this is Sam's house. We don't have the transmission and distribution infrastructure to distribute what we have already installed. If you decentralize and work on the transmission and be able to, as quickly as possible, be able to transmit and distribute the installed capacity, by supporting even power generation companies through dedicated gas supply, ensuring they have access to funding and everything. Don't go to the part that people are saying, oh, the power privatization was wrongly done, the power this thing. That is yesterday. If you have a car and have engine problem, don't start talking about those who drove it before have engine. Let's fix the engine and move the car on. I'm not ready to talk about whether it was done good or where we meet it, let's fix it. If you're able to do that, then you now start all sorts of energy mix, embedded power, any other thing you can use. There's so many things, everything that people can use to generate power. Support it. Invest in that. It's something that can be turned around as quickly as possible. In the issue of grazing, you captured it here. There's nothing wrong. All they want is the same thing. We are not the biggest cow farmers. Neither we are the biggest milk. We are not even among the biggest 10. So why is our own causing trouble? If it's trouble, then other people who are doing more, they have been more there. So we need to deal with it. And you've said it here, options you want. And I assure you, those things will be followed the way you've pointed out. So you talked about the issue of security. I won't give you detail. Because if I give you detail, I won't have anything that I used to catch them when I come. But I assure you, a few things you've mentioned, where no country of our size, first, our personnel is too low. Said it in other countries where people are. Egypt is 100 million, and they have about 1 million police. We are 200 million. I read that our police is 370. This present IG told me no, it's about 320. IG told me. I read it's 370,000. IG told me it's 370. For me, the minus 70, which are following people like me around, so those ones are no longer included in security operating. So you have 250,000 for a country of 200 million people. And I can tell you, 50% of them is not armed. So they are just people who have uniform without any means of protecting anybody. They will even go before other people leave. There's a problem. So you need to deal with that. What we need to do is to man them properly. So you need to find the right manpower, equip them, train them properly, bring technology into it. This is the only country I know you do kidnap people, use phone, negotiating with their family. If you are sick, they will bring doctor. He will treat you. The doctor will go back. So everybody knows where they are, except those who are supposed to catch them. So that shows you there's a problem. It's compromised. That's why I said you deal with it. You deal with it when you have proper training, proper manpower, and that's how you start. It can be solved. And like I said, simultaneously as they are doing this, you need to have local police and national police. It's not everywhere. Today they tell you, said, oh, they are using hunter, they are using vigilante. If hunter is the best way to use, convert them into local government police. Why wouldn't they call him the hunter? Let him become the police. If you are going to use them to catch the thief, is it not people to catch the thief that we want? So let's change his name from hunter to police. So these are things, and it can be done very quickly. Our military, everything, you equip them. I give them a condition. at Navy. And Navy can give, look at all the excuses people are giving about stealing an oil. This person will say, is this person? That person will say that no ship can come into your territory without Navy knowing what's in the ship. What the NPA said is that when the ships come here, they switch off the dictation, what they used to dictate the ship on the sea. Hey, this is even canoe, you can see it on top of the water. Turbulence of tank. So we'll give us some excuse. These are things you need to minimize and stop it. So when you stop it, it will be a different thing. But for security, we'll deal with it. The last question is the issue of micro, small businesses. Sir, the engine of every country developing is micro, small businesses. You cannot do anything without that. It is the engine on which other countries have moved and developed. And this is why this one is not working. You said you're foreign. You came back from. No. But where do you live? You live in London. I don't need to tell you that the British economy can't function without small businesses. It will collapse. In third world countries like ours, in Vietnam today, 97% of the companies is small businesses. In Indonesia, is 90% of the employment is from small businesses. China, because it's huge, is about 60-65%. So imagine China have 800 million people employed, and one section is employing 60%, which is 540 million. That is 2.5 times the size of Nigeria. But here, the small businesses are being killed by government. No physical or monetary policy to drive them. If you look at our risk assets of banks or lending institutions, they are less than 5% goes to them. Other countries have made it that 20% must go to this sector. In fact, Indonesia has a ministry of small and medium businesses. That's where the youth are. That's where innovation is. That's where the future is. That's where you need to put people out.
So what are you going to do when you become the president?
We must focus on them. Support them by a combination of clear, measurable, physical, and monetary policies that are deliverable. Ensure that any package we are doing will not end up in Abuja. It will get to where it's going. If we say we are doing anchor borrowers program, if we say we are doing any program we are doing, it will go to the people. It will not end up here. No pronunciation. We're not going to do it differently. We don't want people to bring rice here, to bring the pyramid of rice and listen. We want the price to reduce in the market. That's how people will know we are producing more rice. They don't want to see the pyramid, they want to see reduction in the price. And that's what we're going to do. And they will see it happen. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Representative Candidates. Labour Party, let me acknowledge the presence of the National Chairman of the Labour Party,